Credit is credibility, and credit is nothing but a direct reflection of how we manage our money. Let's not listen to what the world says. Let's listen to what God says. And I'm going to share with you 10 principles of what God says of how we should manage our money. So with that being said, you know what time it is. Let's get right into it. You already know we're going to get straight into it. All right. So the first principle that we're going to be talking about is tithing and offering. All right. First principle, commit to giving a portion of your income, all right, to support your church and charitable causes that reflects the biblical principle of tithing and giving 10% in offerings, all right? So I know what you're probably thinking. You're probably like, man, I can't afford to give 10% right now. However, this is not what I'm saying, all right? You're not listening to me. You listen to what the Bible says about money, all right? So we got to give 10%. So what can you afford right now? Can you give 2%? Can you give 3%? Can you give 4 or 5%? What can you give right now? But eventually you want to get to 10% because God created us, so he wants 10%. So we got to give him 10%. Principle number 2, all right? Creating a budget. So Proverbs 21:5, and this is from the New King James Version, all right? So Proverbs 21:5 suggests that the plans of the diligent, right here, I'm reading right here, the plans suggest that the plans of the diligent leads to profit. All right, so creating a budget, plan your expenses, allocating funds for essentials, savings, and discretionary spending. Now I see why creating a budget is very, very important because to me, when I hear budget, I'm like, man, why I gotta create a budget for it? But if you don't have a plan for your money's gonna have a plan for itself. You're gonna be spending money over here, you're gonna have money over there. People can call you and ask and things like that. But if you have a plan for your money, now, hey, if somebody calls you, you be like, hey, can I borrow $100? You be like, hey, I can't give it to you right now because I already have a plan for my money. So you gotta start creating a plan of where your money is going to go or allocate, because if you don't, it's going to be all over the place. Hey, let me know, is creating a budget hard for you? Because it's hard for me, but now that I understand of what I want to do in life, now I'm starting budgeting my money, putting it over here, allocating it over here, because eventually I want to grow the credit team to $1 billion business. So allocating the funds and saving for my future self and helping my family and things like that. Now I understand why we should be creating a budget. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Man, this one right here, principle number 3, avoid debt. Now this is gonna shake a few feathers, all right? So strive to live within your means and avoid unnecessary borrowing, all right? Proverbs 22:7. The rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender. Man, I don't know how y'all feel about this, but let me know your thoughts about this one. The rich rules over the poor, and a borrower is slave to the lender. And I totally understand where the Bible is coming from when it comes to this principle. Thinking about it, student loans, all right? We went to college, we borrowed money, but we probably not using that specific degree that we went to school for. Also, credit cards. We use credit cards, and, we did whatever we did with the credit cards. Loans, we borrow money from here, we borrow money from over there, all right? And thinking about it right now, we're going to work and they're not paying us enough money to actually cover these loans, credit cards, and these student loans. So, mentally stressed out about money and finances. So this is where I see, hey, we're a slave to the lender, because now we gotta go up every single day working just to pay back these specific loans. So if you can, avoid debt at all costs so you don't have to be a slave to the lender. Principle number 4. The last one was really good. But principle number 4, save and invest. All right. Proverbs 21:20. All right. Encourage wise planning. Save for future needs, emergencies, and retire. Consider investing prudently to grow your resources. See, hey, the Bible got everything that you need, right? So this is why, creating a budget is very important, because thinking about it, God said, hey, give him 10%. And he also talks about we need to save and invest. So now we understand we're planning out our money. So we're going to give to God 10%. Now we need to also plan for our future self, right? We need to be saving for our future self, putting money away for emergencies, all right? So next thing we need to do is planning out on how much money we need to put away. And I hear a lot of information. I heard about Dave Ramsey. I heard about these different things, but we need to have money for emergencies. We need to have money for our future self, which is when we become older. And we also need to have money for emergencies 3 to 6 months. So you got to plan all this out. So if you plan it, it's going to come to pass. So if you don't plan it, it's not going to happen. So how can we plan this? All right, just, get a Word document, look at your monthly expenses, look up how much money you're making, how can I increase my income, and also what can I do to put money away for here, put money away for saving, put money away for investing, put money away for this. You got to plan everything out. So the next principle, all right, principle number 5 is be generous, all right? Practice, all right, Proverbs 11:25 states that a generous person will prosper, all right? That's what the Bible says. But practice generosity by helping those in need. I'm going to tell you something I did and something I'm going to continue to do year after year after year after year and more to come, because I love giving, I love helping, I love serving others. But most importantly, I listened to Dave Ramsey the other day, right? And he said, hey, a person working at Waffle House on Thanksgiving night really, really needs money. And I sat back and thought about it, like, dang, you're right, because they have to go to work. Instead of being with their family, they have to actually go to work. So he said, instead of going on an expensive date with your wife or your family, go to the Waffle House and give that person that's working, or give somebody that's working $300. And I did it, and you can see the emotion of the person's eyes, because I was like, man, that person really, really needed the money. So that's what I plan on doing on Thanksgiving. And if it's Waffle House is open on Christmas and any other big holiday, hey, I plan on giving money, man. And I want to give $1,000, $2,000 to people, because I really know that they need the money. So as I grow, the more I earn, the more I plan on giving, and the more I plan on helping the community. Principle number 6, right? Work diligently, right? Colossians 3:23 emphasize, right? Working as if you are working for the Lord. Embrace a strong work. I just got one question for you. If God was to hire you, right? If Jesus was to hire you, would he fire you because of your work ethic, of how you showing up to work, of your complaining? Will he fire you? And I'm just gonna let that sink in. Rule number 7, all right? Avoid the love of money. All right. 1 Timothy 6:10 warns us against the love of money, which can lead to harmful desires. All right. Keep your priorities in check. Man, this is a good one. Man, I totally understand this principle. I totally understand where the Bible is coming from when it says the love of money is the root to all evil. What I mean by that is, because if you love money so much, you will put yourself in a predicament that you wouldn't really have done if God was right next to you, sitting right next to you. You wouldn't have done it. But since you love money so much, you will do stuff and put yourself in a position that you wouldn't have done if God or your dad or your mom or somebody close to you, you wouldn't have done. Number 8, all right? Seek wise counsel. Proverbs 15:22 advises, seeking counsel, consulting with a financial advisor or experienced individuals for guidance. So what does that mean? One of the things you can do right now is actually schedule an appointment to go talk to a financial advisor. So a place you can go to right now, you can go schedule an appointment when the time is convenient, ASAP, is go actually talk to a financial advisor at Charles Schwab, because what they're going to tell you is how you can save, how you can invest for your later on self, because at the end of the day, you will get older. So you want to have enough money. Yes, you want to have enough money saved up so you don't have to be working when you're older, all right? So go talk to a financial advisor. It says in the Bible that we need to seek counsel, all right? So, number 2 principle says create a budget. So one of the things is, saving for our future self, planning our money, so creating a budget. So go talk to an advisor so it can help you save for your future self and build a plan to actually have money later on in life. Principle number 9, all right, contentment. Cultivate contentment with what you have. Hebrews 13:5. Avoid excessive desires that can lead to financial pitfalls. Man, and I totally understand principle 9. Let me know your thoughts about it. But most importantly, it's basically the 10th commandment. All right. You shouldn't covet, you shouldn't be jealous of what your neighbors have. Be content of what you have, build what you want. Don't aspire like you see somebody else have something like, yo, I have to have that. Or if you see the latest thing or this or that, all right? You see a lot of things. Yes, you like it, but you shouldn't be jealous of what that other person has. Also, I just got another point, really, really quick. If you're not content of what you have, all right, and you see like the shiny objects, like, yo, you see somebody else get a car, you're like, man, I want a car too. But you don't know that person's, what they've been through, what they have going on, how much money they're making, and things like that. So if you feel like, man, I really, 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 really want that car, guess what? You're becoming a slave, because if you go get that car, knowing that you have bad credit, knowing that you don't have the money to pay for it, now you become a slave to the lender. And we already talked about that principle. Man, whew. Last but not least, all right, principle number 10, plan for your future, all right? Here's what God said. Proverbs 6:6-8 highlights the wisdom, all right? The wisdom of planning for the future. Anticipate future expenses and be prepared. Man, everything that you need is right here, right? So God has showed us 10 principles what we can do to manage our money, because once we manage our money and be a better stewards of our money, like I said, our credit will be a direct reflection of how we manage our money. So let's go ahead and implement these 10 principles. So one of the things you can do right now is go look at your checking account, right? Go look at your monthly statement and see where your money's going, because God said create a budget, create a plan. We got to plan out our expenses. So we got to give him 10%. We got to save for our future self. We got to plan for an emergency fund. We got to plan all this, because if you don't plan it, life is going to happen, and you don't want to be caught with life happening to you. So we plan everything out. Yes, certain things are going to happen. Yes, all this is going to happen. But most importantly, once we plan out our expenses, we plan for emergency, because emergency does happen. And we plan for our future self, because guess what? We are going to become older. We'll have everything that we need, because everything is right here. So go ahead, go plan, go talk to a financial advisor, and go do what God told us to do.